Bromantane has become one of the most popular nootropic supplements at increasing levels of focus and stimulating you while at the same time actually decreasing levels of anxiety. And this is very unique because most stimulants out there are going to bring about anxiety and a whole host of other side effects, but the suspicion around Bromantane is whether or not this is a safe supplement for us, and we have no human research done on the compound. The only studies you'll find out there on Bromantane were done on rats or other animals, and I've used Bromantane on and off for the past couple of years, so I'm going to share with you 5 side effects that may be associated with the use of Bromantane. If you want to learn more about the benefits of Bromantane, I've talked more about them in this video over here. The very first side effect would be brain fog. As per this Reddit post here, we can not only find one, we can actually find a couple of experiences where individuals mention, I had severe brain fog with Bromantane. Another user mentioned just awful brain fog and lack of motivation. And why this may happen isn't clear. One thing we know about Bromantane is that it makes us more easily able to produce dopamine. Dopamine is a very important neurotransmitter in the brain that should result in you increasing your levels of motivation and focus at the same time. So why would demotivation or brain fog take place is a bit of a mystery, but I want to remind you that everybody's different and we all seem to respond differently to Bromantane as well. I'm somebody that doesn't notice much when I use Bromantane, with the exception of those days when I'm sleep deprived. I notice if I were to take 100 milligrams of Bromantane, which is a little bit more than most people should be taking, I would feel a little bit more alert during those days I'm sleep deprived. It feels a little bit like creatine under those conditions, and that's certainly something unique and I definitely like about Bromantane, is that the effects are acute for some individuals, and at the same time for a lot of people they have to be using Bromantane for a considerable period in order for them to notice the benefits. Like this experience reads that the effects build up by time. I had a positive impact on my life from a 3-month use of Bromantane. The second side effect that may be associated with the use of Bromantane would be insomnia, and there's no surprises here. I think with most nootropics out there that are going to be stimulating or have stimulating effects, they're going to disrupt your sleep, and they make it very likely that the following day after using the supplement you actually feel worse because you didn't get a restorative sleep. Like I especially noticed this when I use phenylprastane. Phenylprastane feels like an extended release caffeine. It's very strong. I've talked more about it in this video over here, and those days where I use phenylprastane will be great, but the following day I'll feel a little bit demotivated and feel the opposite effects that phenylprastane had given me. And Bromantane is a little bit similar to phenylprastane for me. Like it may mess with my sleep, but the way that you can prevent that from happening is obviously taking your Bromantane like first thing in the morning. So I'll typically wait 30 to 60 minutes after waking up and I'll take 50 to 100 milligrams of Bromantane. I have the droppers, I also have the pills, and I'll use a higher serving size if I want Bromantane to improve my workouts, because there is some research which supports that it could help you with your weight training as well as your cardiovascular exercise by actually making your heart more efficient. And I'll use a smaller serving size of Bromantane if I want some of the benefits like decreased anxiety and more focus throughout the day. As for this anecdote, one individual mentioned that they've been taking it for 2 months and they noticed an improvement in mood and mental energy, but it pretty much ruined their sleep, so they had to get off Bromantane as a result. The third side effect that could be associated with the use of Bromantane is increased anxiety, which is a surprise because most people use Bromantane and notice less anxiety, like myself. One user mentioned that they get anxiety from 50 milligrams of Bromantane, which is a conservative serving size. Another individual mentioned it makes me feel anxious too. And then at the same time, somebody mentioned that it's actually powerful at helping them with anxiety. We have to acknowledge that anxiety is very complex. There's also different types of anxiety. I found that ashwagandha has been my personal favorite when it comes to reducing levels of anxiety. I also like lion's mane a lot. I've talked more about lion's mane in this video over here. Although Bromantane certainly has promise, like in this study here, they actually found that rats were more easily able to get through a maze specifically because they had reduced levels of anxiety. Yet at the same time, I could understand why some individuals would actually feel a bit of anxiety when they use Bromantane, because when you're increasing levels of dopamine, often you find yourself to be like more focused, more productive, yet at the same time a little bit more anxious. And for this reason, we have the fourth side effect that may be associated with the use of Bromantane, and that would be inconsistent experiences. I've used hundreds of nootropics over the past decade, and something I've learned over the years is that I'm just more likely to take a nootropic supplement if I can predictably tell what it will do for me. And with Bromantane, sometimes you use it, you feel great. Sometimes you use Bromantane, you feel awkward, you feel uncomfortable, you feel brain fog. And for this reason, you would definitely want to consider avoiding Bromantane on days which may be important to you. Let's say you have an important presentation or an important meeting. Obviously, you want to ensure that you're functioning optimally, you're being your normal self. And another popular nootropic supplement, which for me is a bit inconsistent, a bit of a wild card, is L-theanine. Like I just avoid L-theanine because of the fact that sometimes I use it, I feel great. Sometimes I use it and I feel demotivated and a little bit spaced out. And the fifth side effect that may be associated with the use of Bromantane would be withdrawals, meaning that once you stop using the supplement, you feel a lot worse. And it's overall just not a nice feeling. It's been said that what goes up must come down, and I definitely feel that way with respect to stimulants. And while I can understand why people would be a little bit concerned about this with Bromantane and the potential withdrawals, I would just be mindful of like how much is it affecting you in the first place, because likely the more stimulated you feel, the more likely it is that you'll experience withdrawals, and that will also determine the severity of the withdrawals and how long that period may last. One user mentioned, sadly, it does cause withdrawal. Not horrible, but frustration, lack of motivation, sadness, and brain fog. Although I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I don't get the withdrawals. Most people don't. I would say only like 20 to maybe 30% of users of Bromantane do actually experience the withdrawals thereafter. And the good news is that after browsing every single study done out there on Bromantane, I've yet to find any side effects that were found in the research. They found that it was very well tolerated. Of course, I'll continue to keep you updated on this compound. Make sure to click subscribe, drop a like on this video, and your thoughts on Bromantane. And if you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can message me on Patreon, and be sure to visit our Discord server, which has a 24/7 chat room. I really appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next time.